You ever notice how some men walk into a room and the air changes? No words, no gestures, just presence. The kind of silence that makes others sit up, straighten their backs, and question themselves. That's control. Not the kind that shouts or demands attention, the kind that commands it quietly. And no one embodied that more than Thomas Shelby. Now listen carefully, because this lesson isn't about charm or charisma. It's about power. Real power. The kind that doesn't announce itself, yet everyone feels it. Today, I'll show you how Tommy Shelby controls a room without saying a single word. And if you understand this, you'll never have to chase respect again. It'll walk toward you. When Tommy enters a room, he doesn't rush. He doesn't speak first. He lets silence do the work. Because silence, when controlled, is pressure. And people break under pressure, not noise. Every man in that room starts wondering, what's he thinking? Why isn't he speaking? They project their own fear on your calm. That's the first rule of control. Let them feel your stillness. Stillness breathes tension, and tension gives you power. Weak men talk to fill silence. Strong men let silence fill the room. Every pause, every breath, every glance, calculated, purposeful, weighted. Tommy doesn't fidget, doesn't overreact, doesn't seek comfort in small talk, because he knows comfort kills respect. The moment you make others comfortable, the less power you hold. The moment they know your rhythm, your tone, your limits, you've already lost the mystery that commands their attention.
So how do you build this? You start by mastering your body language before your words. When you walk into a room, move with intent, slow, measured, calm. Don't rush to greet everyone. Let the room adjust to you. People instinctively sense hierarchy. The one who controls pace controls perception. Tommy understood this perfectly. He'd sit at the head of the table, back straight, hands steady, eyes fixed, never wandering. That's dominance without movement. Most men try to appear confident by talking more, but every unnecessary word is a leak of power. Tommy's silence isn't emptiness, it's strategy. He speaks only when it serves his intent. And when he does, every word lands like a blade, because it comes after silence sharpened it. You see, control isn't about aggression, it's about precision. Tommy doesn't yell. He doesn't need to. He lets others waste their energy trying to prove a point. Then, when they've exposed themselves, he strikes, not with volume, but with certainty. That's why everyone listens, because when a quiet man speaks, every ear turns. You don't demand silence, you earn it, through restraint, through stillness, through certainty. And that certainty only comes from one thing: control over yourself. Because before you can control any room, you must master the only battlefield that matters: your mind. Tommy knows that emotions betray position. Anger, fear, excitement all reveal weakness. He hides nothing because he shows nothing. His calm isn't natural, it's forged. It's built through countless moments where he refused to react when others wanted him to. That's what makes a man untouchable.
People respect mystery. When they can't predict you, they can't prepare for you. Tommy uses unpredictability as a weapon. He could smile, stay silent, or pull the trigger, and no one ever knows which. That fear of uncertainty keeps everyone cautious around him, and caution is control. Because when they hesitate, you move. When they guess, you decide. So if you want to control the room, stop trying to impress it. Let them wonder what you're thinking. Let them overanalyze your silence. Let their curiosity build your authority. Because power isn't loud, it's felt. And the man who makes others feel without saying a word rules without asking for it. But here's the truth. This kind of power isn't given, it's built. It's not about acting mysterious for effect. It's about becoming the kind of man whose silence means something. And that takes discipline. Discipline to listen when you want to speak. Discipline to sit still when you want to prove yourself. Discipline to wait when everyone else is reacting. Tommy learned that control isn't about dominating others. It's about mastering himself so completely that no one else can pull his strings. Because every time you react, someone owns you. And the man who owns himself owns the room. That's the real secret. The control you seek out there starts within. And until you build that internal silence, your external presence will always be noise. So ask yourself, when you walk into a room, do you talk first? Do you rush to fill the silence? Or do you let them feel it? Because that silence is power. It's tension. It's dominance. It's what separates the ordinary from the unforgettable. Control the silence, and you control their attention. Control their attention, and you control the room. But this is only the beginning, because silence and control are just the tools. The real mastery comes from what you do with that control. And in the next part, I'll show you how Tommy Shelby uses that power, not just to lead others, but to bend entire rooms, conversations, and outcomes to his will. Because once you learn how to speak power without words, the world stops talking and starts listening. So stay till the end, because this lesson is not for everyone, but for those who understand, it changes everything.
If you're still here, you understand the code. Hit like, drop a comment with the word control, and subscribe for the final part. Because in the next lesson, I'll teach you exactly how to make silence your weapon. Power isn't in what you say, it's in what you don't. Tommy Shelby understood that better than any man alive. Because when you control your words, you control perception. And when you control perception, you control people. That's how he ruled every room he ever walked into, without shouting, without threats, without ever needing to ask for respect. He made others give it. Now listen closely, because what I'm about to say separates the weak from the powerful. Most men chase attention. They speak to be noticed. But Tommy, he speaks to direct energy. Every look, every pause, every move has purpose. He doesn't waste words trying to be understood. He lets silence make them want to understand. That's why he never explains himself. He doesn't need to. Explaining is what the powerless do when they're desperate to be liked. Power explains nothing. It simply is. In every meeting, every negotiation, every confrontation, Tommy walks in already owning the atmosphere. How? By deciding he doesn't need their approval. That mindset alone shifts the balance of power before he ever says a word. Because when a man isn't seeking validation, he becomes unpredictable, and unpredictability makes others cautious. Caution is submission in disguise.
The key to controlling a room is this: don't match energy, set it. Tommy never adjusts to the room's tension, he defines it. If others are loud, he stays calm. If they rush, he slows down. If they brag, he watches. He's not reacting, he's observing, because the observer always holds the higher ground. When you're calm while everyone else is restless, they mistake it for confidence, but it's more than that. It's control, and control draws power like a magnet. When you sit across from another man and say nothing, every second of your silence forces him to reveal himself. He fills the gaps. He explains too much. He exposes insecurity. That's when you win, without saying a single word. Tommy uses this exact tactic. He lets others speak first. He listens, not to reply, but to calculate. And when he finally speaks, it's short, cold, decisive. A single line that cuts through all the noise. Because people don't remember conversations. They remember the sentence that ended them. But here's what most men don't understand. Control isn't posture or performance. It's energy. If you walk into a room needing to prove yourself, they'll sense it. Desperation leaks through the smallest cracks, in your tone, your eyes, your breathing. That's why Tommy never walks in to compete. He walks in knowing he's already won. Not because of arrogance, but because he's already decided that no one in that room can affect his state of mind. And when you can't be shaken, you become the center of gravity. Everyone else revolves around you.
Think about the last time you were in a room full of people. Did you talk to blend in, or did you listen to take control? Because every time you speak without strategy, you spend energy. And every time you stay silent with purpose, you collect it. That's what Tommy does. He accumulates power by conserving energy. Every pause builds anticipation. Every glance creates tension. Every breath becomes theater. It's not conversation. It's control disguised as calm. Now let's talk about emotion, the silent killer of authority. Tommy doesn't let anger, pride, or insecurity show. Not because he doesn't feel them, but because he understands that the first man to lose composure loses the room. So he uses emotion as fuel, not as a signal. When others shout, he watches. When they get angry, he smirks. Because a man who remains calm when others are falling apart terrifies people. That's the edge you need to master. And here's the truth. Control isn't about dominance. It's about stability. Tommy knows that chaos feeds weak men. They crave noise because it hides their fear. But the man who thrives in silence, he's unshakable. He's not looking for validation,
comfort or reaction. He's operating on his own rhythm, and that rhythm commands attention without ever asking for it. So how do you build that energy in your own life? Start small.
Next time you enter a room, say less than you normally would. Hold eye contact a second longer than what's comfortable. Breathe slowly. Don't rush your movements. Let others fill the space. Watch how quickly they start to shift, to question, to adapt, all because you refused to play their game. That's the beginning of presence, and presence is power. Tommy Shelby isn't feared because he's loud. He's feared because his silence carries intent. Every word he doesn't say makes people listen harder. Every second of stillness makes them think deeper. And when he finally does speak, it's not conversation, it's command. Because true power doesn't need noise, it only needs presence. Remember this. When you can control your silence, you control your surroundings. When you can control your emotions, you control outcomes. And when you can control yourself, you control everything. That's how Tommy Shelby wins. Not with chaos, not with threats, but with a mind so still it bends the world around it. That's not just confidence, that's mastery. So the next time you walk into a room, slow down. Don't chase attention. Don't over-explain. Don't fill the silence. Own it. Because that silence, it's not empty. It's full of power waiting for someone disciplined enough to use it. And when you do, they'll feel it before you even speak. That's how you control the room. That's how you command respect. That's how you move like Thomas Shelby. If you've made it this far, you're part of the few who understand control. Comment, "Control the room," to prove it. And if you want more cold, calculated lessons on power, silence, and presence, hit like, share, and subscribe to Shelby Mode. Because the next code will teach you how to influence minds without saying a word.